In the past, we've used input boxes to get keyboard input from the user. And I want to show you how you can just trap the keyboard using an event listener and a keyboard event. So as an example here, I have this project in which there are no input fields. There's a dynamic text field here that will display some output, and these are static text. But if I just press the letter A on the keyboard, I'm told that the NATO phonetic equivalent for A is alpha, B is Bravo. If I do an uppercase, I get C is Charlie, D is Delta. So it shows me the character that I pressed, either uppercase or lowercase, and the NATO phonetic equivalent. And I'm simply trapping the keyboard input from the user. Now if I type something like a 1, I'm told there is no NATO code for a 1. It simply is the word 1. And I didn't bother to code that in my switch statement, which you'll see in a minute. So let's look at this project. So as I said, I've got a dynamic text box here called phonetic_txt. This is all static text. Here is my code. So I've added an event listener to the stage itself, which is responding to a keyboard event of a key down, and it's calling a function called getChar. So getChar is simply taking that keyboard event and getting the char code that was pressed, and I'm using from char code that we looked at in the previous lesson to convert that character code, which is a number, into a string. And then I've got another string variable called phonetic, and then I've got a switch statement which is looking at my letter, which was the letter that was pressed on the keyboard, generated from the char code itself, and I'm converting to an uppercase, so I'm not having to look at uppercase A and lowercase a. And then all my case statements from A to Z, and each one of these I'm simply describing what the NATO phonetic is as a string, which I'm placing into the variable phonetic and doing a break. At the end of that structure, I do have a default case, which is phonetic equals 3 question marks, no NATO code available. And then my output is I'm simply taking that phonetic_txt dynamic text box and placing whatever letter they pressed, that's the character, and I'm concatenating to that a colon with a space and whatever the value is of my phonetic string variable. So the trick to all this in trapping the keyboard is to set up an event listener for the stage that's listening for a key down event, which is part of the keyboard event class, and then just simply handling that using things like from char code that we looked at in that last lesson.